Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily Quiz for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 17th September today, and in this video we are going to discuss these important articles which are on the slide, which are actually taken from the newspaper. If you are the first time visitor of this channel, then let me introduce this initiative to you guys so that you will get the proper idea of this video and you will get more connected to it. Every day in this video we discuss three types of questions. The first set of questions is from the current affairs. We take up the most important articles in the newspaper. We derive them, we discuss them a little bit, we break them down into the simplest language possible and derive some prelims based questions from those articles so that you will get the idea how the questions may come from the current affairs and also help you preparing for your next prelims exam. And in the next set, we discuss the questions from the static topic. If you had followed me, you would know every day we discuss some static topic here. And today we are going to discuss the union and its territory. We had started with the Indian polity, and for that we are using the Lakshmikant book. So today we will discuss union and its territory, and we will start with Article 1. So please stay with us till the end so that this initiative may help you in the proper way, and we will derive some questions from this static topic. And at the end of our session, we will discuss few previous year questions. We will derive some methods by which we can solve the questions in the exam. We will get this. We will derive how we will find out how this information can be used in the next upcoming exam. So my request to you guys is please do watch the full video. Stay with me till the end. This will definitely benefit you. Before we start our discussion, I would like to request you a few things here. First of all, please do note all these questions which we discuss here. They may not seem that much important right now to you guys, but trust me, when your exams would be near, you would want to revise your current affairs. It would be very much hectic for you to revise all the current affairs of the year. So if you already have collected these questions from here, it will definitely help you revise your current affairs in the best way possible, and it will boost your confidence before entering the exam hall. So please, I request you guys, please have note of these questions. If you are lazy like me, then at least take the screenshot of these questions. It will definitely help you. And also, please do subscribe the channel and share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. Before we start, I would like to make one thing very much clear here. Our motive in discussing this video is not to discuss the news analysis. Please make it very much clear with yourself too. We are not going to discuss news analysis here, but we are going to derive the questions from those articles which were in the newspaper today so that it will help you in your preparation for prelims. So make it very much clear. As we are about to start our discussion, I assume that you had already read the newspaper. And if you had not read, at least we will give the context, but the purpose is not to discuss the newspaper. Again, I am repeating it. The purpose is not to discuss the newspaper here, but to derive the questions from it. Why we are taking these articles, just to give you the idea what was the context behind the questions which we are going to discuss here. The first article with this, let's move to our topics today. The first article, it is about the Dalits get entry to the Tamil Nadu temple after peace talks. We are living, unfortunately, right now we are living in the 21st century, but still in our society we are so backward in mentality. This caste system does exist in our society till now. This untouchability is still in our country. This untouchability which would have been the thing of the past, but unfortunately it is seen in our practices, it is seen in our religious practices, it is seen in our social conduct. So with respect to this, there is a temple in Tamil Nadu in the Tiruvullar district of Chennai. So there the Dalits were not allowed to enter the temple itself, but there would have been the opposition to it, and because of the peace talks between the authorities, now they had reached to the point where the Dalits will get entry to the Tamil Nadu temple. It has been approved now because of the peace talks. With respect to this, there would come the concept of the untouchability as we know it, as it is mentioned in Article 17 of the Indian Constitution. Right now, if we will look at the theoretical theoretical laws in our country, theoretical approach to this untouchability, theoretical approach to this backward thinking. We are very much modern to it. We had abolished everything which which impacts the lower which impacts the lower cost, which impacts the woman, which impacts the children. We had abolished everything with respect to that, but unfortunately in the practical means we are still following the old practices. So this topic was with respect to that, with respect to the Tamil Nadu temple, as there had been the peace talks and now Dalits can enter the Tamil Nadu temple. So with respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question in the next slide. There can be a huge discussion on this article itself. We can go back to the pre-independence era, how it started. We can go back to the Vedas, how the Varna system started, how in early Vedas there was only the concept of Varna, but untouchability was not there. How in later Vedas the concept of untouchability started. We can, this topic can be elaborated, if we want to expand this topic, it can expand to the 2 to 3 hour discussion. But here the idea is to give you the basic context behind the questions which we have to discuss here. So I guess this much heading is enough for you to understand the questions which we are going to discuss, and to give the context behind the question itself. The another article which was in the news is about how do emergency provisions impact the center-state relations. Right now there are many states in our country which are going through instability, especially in Manipur. The conditions there, the quarrel, the fight between the fight between the Kukis and and Metis. Their status for the fight, their relationship has been impacted by the decision of High Court, which when the Metis approached High Court and they demanded for the social ST status, and High Court it granted them the ST status, as it requested, it asked this respective state government to grant them the ST states, which did not went well with the Kukis, and there has been quarrel between these two important tribes in the Manipur, and it has put Manipur into the distress. It has put Manipur into the huge distress, where the civilians had lost their lives, where the policeman has lost their lives. So there has been huge impact, because of this decision of the because of this decision of the High Court. There has been huge impact on the property, on the lives of the people of the Manipur, and on the stability of the Manipur. And right now there is a question, why the central government is not going for the presidential rule there. There is some political angle to it. It is as we know that right now the Manipur, it is under the government control. The chief minister, the government is from the ruling party, which is in the center also. So that is one of the reasons why center is not going for it. It is said that the center, if it was ruled by some other political party, then center would have invoked Article 356, and it would have overthrown that political party there. It would have put presidential control there. But as the rule, as the state is not ruled by ruled by the same party as in the center, there is that bias from the center itself. So right now with respect to this, we have Article 356, 355 and 356. In the Article 355, it is the duty of the union, in which union has to protect every state from external and internal disturbances, and under Article 356, the government of that state is dismissed by the center, by the presidential order. So this is main concept behind this article. These are the important things which we take from this article, which can be relevant for your prelims. In the next slide, we will solve some questions with respect to it also. Then the another article which was in the news, it is related to the Indian military export to Israel. Few few petitioners went to the Supreme Court and they wanted that Supreme Court should stay those companies, state those government companies which are exporting to Israel, which are exporting military exports to Israel. Why they went to the Supreme Court? Because we had seen recently there has been a war in between Israel and Gaza, between Israel and Palestine, and it is believed that Israel is violating human rights there, that Israel is doing the genocide there. So because of that, the International Criminal Court, in the International Court of Justice, ICJ, it has asked, it has clearly said that the Israel is violating the ICJ has clearly said, Internal Court of Justice, it has clearly said that Israel has occupied many Israel has occupied many Palestinian land illegally. So it is, as ICJ has clearly said, that they are violating the they are violating the human rights there. They are doing the genocide, as many countries reached there, and they had given their judgment with respect to that. So as we are signatory to the genocide convention on 1948, and we are the part of the ICJ also. So it is our duty to stop trade, to stop our military exports to Israel, as we are indirectly aiding in the Israeli genocide, as said by the ICJ. So with respect to that, the petitioners went to the Supreme Court and they asked the Supreme Court to put ban on those companies, to stay, to suspend the license of those companies. But the Supreme Court, it rejected the petition, as it said it is not under their jurisdiction to do that, because we cannot offer any judgment against the Israel state, as it is not party here. Second, they said that what if these companies are already in some partner in some agreement with the Israel, and because of our, if we state those companies doing, if we suspend those companies or state their trade, Israel may demand compensation from those companies. So there are various issues raised by the Supreme Court itself. Because of that, that petition was rejected. So with respect to this, we will solve a prelims based question on the genocide itself, so and get the more idea about the article. Then there was another article in the news which is about the why Tamil Nadu government, why is Tamil Nadu education fund in holding. We had already discussed about this article. We had discussed about the Samagra Shiksha, which it is a it collaborated three schemes, which is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and teacher education. It collaborated all these three schemes, and it is a central sector scheme in which the center will contribute 60% is contributed by the center and 40% by the states. And this under this fund, this center will give funds to the states in installments. And unfortunately, installments for Tamil Nadu education, Tamil Nadu government has been stopped. According to Tamil Nadu government, why this installment has stopped, they allege that the central government is asking them to sign the memorandum of understanding for PM Shri, which would be run from 2022 to 2027, in which they have to make the model schools which will focus on audiovisual aid, etc., which will be the model schools for other schools, which will be which will have full development of the, which will contain the full development of the children. And also another reason why center is not giving them the funds is that the Tamil Nadu government, they had not implemented the new education policy of 2020. So what are the issues with the new education policy of 2020? We know that the Tamil Nadu government stands for the anti-Hindi stand. They have the anti-Hindi stand, and according to the new education policy of 2020, that every government should go for the official languages. Every government should have the three official languages for this children in the school. For example, one For the South Indian states, they should go for the local language English and some Indian language, especially Hindi. And for North Indian states, they should also have three languages: Hindi, English, and South Indian states. But Tamil Nadu government, it is following the two language policy, which contains English and Tamil Nadu. Because of that, it is not willing to sign the new education policy of 2020 because of this provision of the education policy, of that provision, which is three language policy. And a few other provisions are with respect to the national education policy, which the Tamil Nadu government is not willing to sign. For example, new education policy, it focuses on 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model, whereas Tamil Nadu government focuses on 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 model. So there is also some concerns with respect to it. So because of all this stuff, Tamil Nadu government is not ready to sign the new education policy, and because of that, the funds, Tamil education funds had been withheld by the center for the Tamil Nadu government under Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. With respect to this, we will solve a question in the next slide. After that, there was another article. It was about the clarity of vision, as we had discussed this article earlier too, that there was a medicine made by a company which claimed false advertisement for about that, and it was withdrawn by the drugs and magic remedy in which it was withdrawn by the authorities, in which the drugs and magic remedies objectionable advertisement act of 1951 was used. So with respect to this, it was this drug was particular to presbyopia, and we will solve a question with respect to it to get the better idea. After that, right now we know that there are elections going on in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and we had reached, the campaign has been concluded for the first phase of the polls in Jammu and Kashmir, and the period of election silence had started there. Under the Representation of People's Act, section 126, under this section, no election campaign can take place. If any political party does so, they may face punishment. It is before 48 hours before 48 hours of the elections, there no campaigning can be done. If any political party does so, they may face the punishment. So it was with respect to this, we had got this article here, period of silence. We will understand it with respect to the question in more clarity. After that, we will discuss the static topic. When we will solve these questions, we will reach there and start discussing with the Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, and at the end we will solve the previous year questions. So this was about the context of the questions which we are going to solve. I hope you had understood it. If you had not read the paper, at least you will get the idea what was in the newspaper. Now with this, let us try to solve the questions one by one and get more idea about today's discussion. Here, the first question, it is very much direct question. It says, which of the following statements correctly reflects the provisions of Article 17 of the Indian Constitution? Statement A, Article 17 abolishes untouchability and forbids its practice in any form. 100% correct. Statement 1 is 100% correct. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, Article 17, it abolishes untouchability and forbids its practice in any form. Now my question to you, is Article 17 absolute or not? Can it be, can center withhold this article if needed? So answer to this question is yes. We had seen during the pandemic, when when there was COVID-19, spread of COVID-19, for that purposes this article can be withheld. It can be, its effect can be stopped. So this is, this is not absolute article, it can be withheld. So with respect to this question, coming back to this question, the statement 1 is 100% correct. Coming to statement 2, Article 17 provides for the reservation of seats, totally incorrect, and no need to read the full statement. Statement 3, Article 17 allows for the constitution of customary practices related to caste discrimination in certain regions. It is totally opposite of it. Statement 3 is also incorrect. Coming to statement 4, Article 17 empowers the president to impose restrictions on the practice of untouchability. No, there is no such provision in it. So statement D is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement 1 only. Now with this, I hope you had understood the article itself, you had got the context behind it also. Now with this, let's move to the another question here. Here the another question is with respect to which of the following, with respect to the provisions of Article 355 of the Indian Constitution, as the question says, which of the following statements correctly describe the provisions of Article 355 of the Indian Constitution? Statement 1. Article 355 mandates the Union to ensure that the state government maintains law and order and protects itself against external aggression and internal disturbances. 100% correct. Does it mean that the government there is that the government, if any state is facing some internal disturbances, does it mean under Article 355 the government there is suspended? No, it does not mean so. It is further explained in Article 356. So under Article 355 the correct statement is statement A. Coming to statement B, Article 355 authorizes president to dissolve the state legislature of the government. No, it is under Article 356, so statement B is also incorrect. Coming to statement C, Article 355 allows president to remove the governor of a state. Totally incorrect. Coming to statement D, Article 355 mandates the imposition of president's rule in a state where the state government is failing to implement central directives. It is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement A only. That is the correct statement. I hope with this you had understood the context. You had already understood the context behind this discussion and you had understood the question itself. Now with this, let's move to the another question. It says, which of the following statements correctly describe the key provisions of the Genocide Convention of 1948? Statement A. The Genocide Convention of 1948 defines genocide as a crime under international law and obligates signatory countries to prevent and punish acts of genocide. 100% correct. Statement 2. The Genocide Convention of 1948 establishes the International Criminal Court. No, it does not establish International Criminal Court. But after the Rome Convention, the primary body for prosecuting genocide is International Criminal ICJ, International Court of Justice. So statement B is also incorrect. Coming to statement 3, the Genocide Convention of 1948 allows for the use of military force by signatory countries to prevent genocide in other countries. No, it does not allow so. Statement C is also incorrect. Coming to statement 4, the Genocide Convention of 1948 is exclusively focused on prosecuting genocide committed by non-state actors. Now it is both state and non-state actors, so statement D is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement A only. Now with this, let's move to the another. It says it is about which of the following statements accurately reflects the key features of the National Education Policy 2020. Statement A. The National Education Policy 2020 aims to abolish the higher secondary level and integrate it with the undergraduate degree programs. No, it does not aim to abolish the higher secondary level. So statement A is totally incorrect. Statement B. The National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes the introduction of vocational educations from grade 6 and promotes multilingualism and the preservation of regional languages. 100% correct. Statement B is correct. Coming to statement 3, the National Education Policy 2020 recommends reducing the school curriculum to focus exclusively on science and mathematics to improve national competitiveness. Totally incorrect. Everything wrong with this statement. Coming to statement 4, D. The National Education Policy 2020 mandates the use of only English as the medium of instruction in all schools across the country. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement B only. Now with this, let's move to the another question. It is about the presbyopia. It says which of the following statements correctly describe presbyopia. Statement A. Presbyopia is a condition where there is an increased sensitivity to light due to aging of the retina. No. Statement B. Presbyopia is an age-related condition characterized by the loss of the eye's ability to focus on close objects. 100% correct. This is the accurate definition of it. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement B. Now let's look at the statement C. Presbyopia is a genetic disorder that leads to progressive loss of peripheral vision. No, it is not a genetic disorder. Statement D. Presbyopia is an infection of the eye that causes inflammation of the cornea. No, it is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement B only. With this, I hope we had discussed the questions with respect to the current affairs. Now let's move to the static topic which we have to discuss. No, sorry, we have one more question here. Here the question with respect to the current affairs. Here the question is, what is the period of election silence in the context of Indian elections, as we had reached that in the Jammu and Kashmir state, Union Territory. Here, the first statement: the period during which the Election Commission of India is responsible for ensuring the smooth conduct of election. Totally absurd statement. Statement B: the period starting from the announcement of election results until the formal declaration of the results. Totally incorrect. Statement C: the 48-hour period before the close of polling, during which no campaign or electioneering is allowed. 100% correct. So, with respect to this question, the correct statement is option C. Now, let's look at the statement D: the period between the last date for nomination and the date of polling. Totally incorrect. So, with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement C. Now, with this, we had completed our discussion with respect to the current affairs topics, with respect to the questions with respect to the questions related to current affairs. Now, with this, let's move towards our static topic, which is union and its territory. Union and its territory, it is if we have to understand it, it is fully contained in the articles 1 to 4. Right now, let's get the basic idea. We have 28 states in our country and 8 union territories. Now, to understand it, to get more basic idea about it, this union and its territory, it is explicit, it is mentioned, it is in part 1 of the constitution. It is if we have to understand about it, it is explained in article 1 to 4. Now, let's try to understand the article 1. What does it describe? Let us see what it is about. Article 1, it describes India, that is Bharat, as a union of state. It described India, and that is Bharat as a union of state. Here the question is why, as if we will look at our political recognition, if we will look at the political view of our country, we are federal in nature. But why, here the question may come, why does not the framers of the constitution use the federation of states as they had used the union of states? The answer to this is given by the Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar himself. The phrase union of state has been preferred to federation of states for two reasons. One is the Indian Federation is not the result of an agreement among the states like the American Federation. Like in the American Federation, all the states agreed first, then they came together. In India, the states did not came together to form this union. But what states in India, we are holding the states together. So the federation is not the proper term for with respect to the Indian Federation, like as in the American Federation. And also, two, the states have no right to secede from the federation. Like in United States, if anything wrong will happen there, if any misunderstanding will be there, the states can secede away. But in our country, the states cannot secede away from the federation, from the union. For example, there were many agitations in our states, especially in Jammu and Kashmir, in Punjab, in northeastern states. They cannot move away from the federation. We are very much unitary in nature in this context. We are quasi-federal in nature. So that is the reason why the framers of the constitution use the union of state instead of the federation of state. And another reason, what is given, is that it was the time when we had already faced the partition of our country. So it was better to give the people of the country, give them the idea that we are the union, rather than the federation. It is something different. It does not give that the idea of fraternity is not that much well defined in the federation as it is defined in the union of states. That brotherhoodness, that oneness, that integrity is much defined in the union, in the term union. So union of state was used. The another thing which the article here describes, it describes the name, which is the Bharat. There was no unanimity in the Constitution Assembly with regard to the name of the country. Also, some members suggested that traditional name Bharat should be used, while others advocated the modern name India. Hence, the Constitution Assembly had to adopt a mix of both India and the Bharat. And according to Article 1, the territory of India can be classified into three categories: the territories of the state, union territories, and territories that may be acquired by the government of India at any time. The names of states and union territories and their territorial extent are mentioned in the first schedule of the Constitution, which we should know. At present, as we had already discussed, we have 28 states and 8 union territories. The provisions of the Constitution pertaining to the states are applicable to all the states in the same manner. However, we have Part 21 also, in which the special provisions are applicable to the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, and Karnataka. They override the general provisions related to the states as a class. Further, we have fifth and sixth schedule also, which contains separate provisions with respect to the administration of scheduled areas and tribal areas within this state. So, in nutshell, the main purpose of this article is to understand why we went for why the name of our country was chosen to India, why how this article starts as it says India, that is Bharat, as a union of state. What was the purpose of having this term union of state instead of the federation of state? And also it in our country, what are the different ways we can acquire the territories, that is also very well defined in the constitution itself. So this is nutshell with respect to the article 1. It says it describes India, that is Bharat, as a union of state, why we had chosen the name as the mixture of India and the Bharat, and what was the need for using the term union of state instead of the federation of state. So with respect to this, we will discuss more on it in the next coming classes. In a single class we cannot discuss everything about this article. We can't discuss these 4 articles in a 10 to 15 minutes. It will at least need 1 to 2 hours to discuss these all articles. So as our approach is to discuss it in bits and bytes, so here is the discussion about it. Was a discussion about article 1. Now let's solve the question with respect to it. Here the question says, which of the following statements correctly describe the provisions of article 1 of the Indian Constitution? Statement A. Article 1 of the Indian Constitution defines India as a union of state and provides the official name of the country. 100% correct, nothing wrong with it. Statement B. Article 1 of the Indian Constitution deals with the powers and the functions of the President of India. Totally incorrect, absurd statement. Statement C. Article 1 of the Indian Constitution describes the procedure for the amendment of the Constitution. Totally incorrect. Article D. Option D. Article 1 of the Indian Constitution outlines the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens. Totally incorrect. So with respect to this, the correct statement is statement 1. Now with this, we had discussed the static part also. Now let's move to the last part of our discussion, that is the previous year questions. Here the first question is with respect to the Congress Socialist Party. It says, who among the following was the prominent leader of the Congress Socialist Party? So here the first option is M.N. Roy, second Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi, third Patam Tanu Pillai, and fourth Acharya Narendra Dev. So the correct option for this question is Acharya Narendra Dev. It was J.P. Narayan and and other leaders with Acharya Narendra Dev, who were the prominent leaders of the Congress Socialist Party. So it is option D, which is Acharya Narendra Dev, with respect to this question, the correct option. Now coming to the another question, it says, consider the following statements about Jawaharlal Nehru. I will explain a method here if you don't know the answer to such question. Let's assume that you are seeing this question for the first time. Let us try to solve it without knowing the answer. First question, he was the president of the Congress Party in 1947. Let's assume that you don't know the option. You don't know the answer to it. You don't have read about it. Statement 2. Statement B. He presided over the Constituent Assembly. He presided over the Constituent Assembly. It is very basic, and we know that he did not presided over Constituent Assembly, so we can mark option B incorrect. Statement 3. He provided the first Congress Ministry. He provided the first Congress Ministry in United Provinces before India's independence. It is very extreme. Whenever such terms are in the question, in the statements, for example, all first extreme terms, you can mark it incorrect. We can say option C is incorrect. When we know the option C is incorrect, we can mark option A incorrect here, option 1 incorrect here, we can mark option 2 incorrect here. Now we are left with 1 and B. Here let's go back to the statements 1 and B. In the first statement, he was the president of the Congress Party in 1947. We know if uh, if we as we know the answer to it, it is definitely correct that he was not the president of the Congress party in 1947. Suppose I'm giving you a method you don't know about it. Keep it here. He presided over the Constituent Assembly. This is the idea which everybody knows, that he did not preside over the Constituent Assembly. So here the statement B is also incorrect, which makes question part 3 also incorrect. Now we are left with only fourth option, which is none of the above. None is correct. So for this question, the correct statement is option 4. Now let's solve it in a more conventional manner. The first part of this question is, it says he was the president of the Congress party in 1947. It is totally incorrect, as it is Acharya J.P. Kripalani who was the president in 1947. So statement 1 is incorrect. Coming to statement B, it says he presided over the Constituent Assembly. No, it was not him, but it was Dr. Rajendra Prasad who presided over the Constituent Assembly. So statement B is also incorrect. Coming to statement C, he provided the first Congress ministry in United Province before India's independence. No, it was G.B. Pant who formed first Congress ministry. So statement C is also incorrect. So with respect to this question, all the three statements are correct, and for this question, the correct answer is option 4, which is none of the above is correct. So with this, I hope you had understood the questions here. You had got the context behind the questions, and I hope you would like the video and share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.